Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com, talking about the communist conquest of America. In the 1984 movie Red Dawn, paratroopers from the Soviet Union and Cuba drop into a Colorado high school schoolyard.
Now, when this killing started, it lasted for days, weeks, even months. And it went on until the young son of the Khan asked his father, that the last creature alive, be allowed to go free. Well now, my friend. Well now.
Oh, check it out.
All right.
You look pretty cool, though, man.
I would say they were way off course. This is very unusual.
You do something, Mr. Teasdale.
What's going on, my friend?
That was pretty dramatic, but that's not what's happening at all. What actually happened in America is that communists infiltrated our schools and filled the children's heads with propaganda. And the movie wasn't really filmed in Colorado. It was filmed in northern New Mexico near Santa Fe. I grew up near Santa Fe and used to go there all the time with my parents. One of the most famous landmarks in Santa Fe is the obelisk in the middle of the plaza. This is the most popular meeting place in town, and there's always people sitting around the base of the obelisk. Or at least it was until 2 days ago when left-wing terrorists tore the obelisk down. They said it was a symbol of conquest of Native Americans, and therefore they had the right to destroy it. But of course the entire city of Santa Fe is there because of the conquest of Native Americans. This is the 16th century Palace of the Governors adjacent to the obelisk, and those are Native Americans selling jewelry out in front of the building. Conquest is a key part of almost every civilization and always has been. It probably won't be long before these terrorists start demanding that the Palace of the Governors come down as well. This is Pueblo Bonito at Chaco Canyon, which is not very far away. It's the oldest apartment building in North America. They had a long history of conquest, war, and ultimately cannibalism. What eventually drove the Anasazi out of Chaco Canyon was a 70-year-long drought which occurred long before climate change. The Native American history of conquest and cannibalism at Chaco Canyon surely deserves the wrath of these left-wing terrorists as well. And what about the violent history of the Mayan and Aztec Native Americans in Mexico, who practiced human sacrifice and every other form of oppression? Perhaps these activists will decide that they need to tear down these pyramids, which were symbols of oppression. Some of the biggest slave owners during the 19th century were Native Americans like Choctaw Chief Greenwood Lefort, who had 400 enslaved Africans under his dominion. And then there was the entire history of Rome, which was all about conquest and violence. China's history is dominated by thousands of years of violence, conquest, and oppression. Most of human history is about conquest, but the people of Santa Fe have become so passive, docile, and full of self-guilt, they are unable to defend themselves. These terrorists understand this, and that's exactly why they target left-wing cities. In the movie Red Dawn, there were Soviets and Cubans doing the shooting in Colorado, but as James O'Keefe has shown, it's actually the Democrats who are doing it.
2020 is a political revolution. I am going to do everything morally acceptable to win. I will lie, I will cheat, I will steal, because that's morally acceptable in this political environment.
This is Chris Jacks from Our Revolution, a radical left 501c4 organization bent on creating a, quote, political revolution in the United States. Jacks represents the Democratic Party here in Colorado. And Jacks says a Biden administration will be used to advance his political objectives, or else there will be violence.
It's going to take a strategic hit against the
the 0.1% that's in charge, because that's who it is. It's killing random Nazis in the street, random bootlickers. So you want to do some Versailles shit? You want to do some Antifa shit? You really want to change this country that way with violence? There's only one way to do it.
H.L. Mencken said over 100 years ago that the urge to save humanity is almost always only a false face for the urge to rule it. Power is what all messiahs really seek, not the chance to serve. These tourists who tore down the obelisk in Santa Fe aren't against conquest. Conquest is their goal. They're attempting the communist conquest of America. And they're counting on docile, brainwashed, guilt-ridden left-wingers like the people of Santa Fe to not resist them. Toto was planning on visiting New Mexico this summer, but all the COVID madness from their governor, Wuhan Luhan, made that nearly impossible. You can visit Toto and Kyrie on the web at realclimatescience.com.